Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for confirming that my audio works well. We have had a couple of queries on the chat box already. What I would do is that we are going to go ahead with a very detailed webinar going. So what we will be doing is that we will be taking the questions at the end of the session. As per the responses and the queries that we have received on the Google form, most of them I will try to cover it. In case you have any specific queries with respect to your situation or with respect to your proposal, you can put it up in the chat box, or you can raise your hand so that we can take up the queries in detail a little later. So we'll just start off with the presentation directly. So going ahead, I'll just stop my video in case anybody has any bandwidth issues that can be negated. Yeah. So thank you for joining the webinar today regarding the Biotechnology Ignition Grant from Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms. So CCAM was created with a mandate about 13 plus years back to be an enabler of cutting edge research and innovation in the country, to act as a bridge between the Indian academic community and the industry. Now, we are a member associated with many Government of India as well as Government of Karnataka ecosystem. And we belong to the Bangalore Life Science Cluster. So as a part of the Bangalore Life Science Cluster, we are actually associated with three academic institutions, one which is NCBS working on fundamental research, the other is INSTEM, and the third one is TIGS, which is for genetics and society. As being a successful enabler for bioscience research and innovation, we have a three-pronged approach going ahead. So one, we have the technology resources that can actually be utilized by people who want to get their samples analyzed. The second one is a part of the research translation that basically targets academicians exclusively, taking up academic ideas to a stage where they are ready for commercialization. And then the third one, which is entrepreneurial program, something that I am involved in, where we associate ourselves with individual startups, academicians, faculty members, basically people who have got some idea to work on a problem that they have identified. As a part of technology resources, we actually enable high quality research, be it from the academia or from individuals or from the community as such. So we have all of these platforms that can be utilized by, irrespective of whether you are associated on paper with CCAM. Now, bear in mind that if any of these technology resources are something that would validate some aspect of your proof of concept going ahead with the BIG grant, you can actually showcase the fact that you may be collaborating with CCAM on a later date. In addition to those facilities, we also have exclusive facilities that target COVID innovations, as well as an NBM MedTech rapid prototyping lab that includes a design studio, lateral flow assays, device testing, etc. So basically, this prototyping microfab facility works in tandem closely with any intervention with devices or a diagnostic kit. And it includes environmental, clinical, medical kind of samples as well. Now, bear in mind that these facilities that are being showcased right now are on a pay-per-use basis. So in case you would like to utilize any of these technologies, irrespective of whether the awarding of the BIG comes through or not, you can actually go ahead for this. In addition to that, we also have a testing ecosystem using the transgenic fly model for research. And also that in case anybody is interested to get trained in any of these courses that are offered by CCAM, we do have almost every month, we do have a course either on metabolomics, proteomics, downstream processing, flow cytometry, anything of that sort. And all of these announcements happen either on Twitter or on LinkedIn. So kindly be aware about all of these training courses that are being offered by CCAM. As a part of the outreach and impact of the resources at CCAMP, we have hand-delivered about 4,500 projects plus, as well as we have connected with nearly 925 organizations as well. And we have also facilitated the publications for about 400 plus individuals as well. Now, coming to the DIA program, which is the Research Innovation Program. So basically, we are targeting exclusive academic to industrial collaborations. What we have seen is that most of the academic faculty, they are oriented with their own manpower and their own research, and they have their own milestones to be set as part of the DBT, DST, ICAR grants that they usually work with. What happens is that as an offshoot of those projects that they handle, there are many results that seem quite promising to take forward, but they do not have the time, the manpower, or the need for it at this time, or the fact that they do not understand the industrial translation that may happen at going ahead, because it's a tad bit different modus operandi between academia and the industry collaborations. So if you're going ahead with an innovation that you have seen, the results seem promising in the lab, you can collaborate with the DIA program at CCAMP. And as a result of the first call, we have completed 2 calls till now. So as a result of the first call, we have come about with about 7 technologies that are ready for licensing. Now, going ahead with the entrepreneurial pursuit, please bear in mind that publications are not something that are warranted from either the nodal agency as well as your peers. What is exactly important is, you having a patent. So basically, we have an Office of Technology Transfer at CCAMP that is supported by the National Biopharma Mission. So basically, what we do is that we do a patentability assessment, prior art search, freedom to operate, out licensing, in licensing kind of collaborations, as well as technology transfer is undertaken. Now, even if you want to have an idea as to what is the patentable feature in your idea, we can also do a prior art search to determine that. So OTT is one platform at CCAMP that you can directly get in touch with. The email ID of the same is presently on your screen. In case you miss out on this email ID, then you can email us as a response to the email that you have received till date, and we can connect you to the OTT team at CCAMP. Now, coming to the entrepreneurship programs, we offer a multitude of mentorship, advancement, and as well as acceleration programs going ahead. In addition to that, we also have an incubation facility here at CCAMP, which offers multiple mode of incubation. So basically, the innovators as well, and we cater to both innovators as well as startups. We also have a dedicated facility for agricultural startups, as well as a virtual incubation collaboration that we have, so that in case you're not based out of Bangalore or Karnataka for that matter, you can be associated with CCAMP on paper and leverage the ecosystem that we have had strongly built over the 13 years of time that we have been a part of. Also with that, we also have immersion programs. So this is basically a scouting mechanism for social innovations. So what we do over here is that we conduct a theme-based in-depth immersion program. So this is actually open only to graduates, like students basically. What happens over here is that we identify real key problems on the ground. So it is a duration. This program runs for a duration of about 18 months. So the first 6 months is something that happens with respect to the immersion, where you are given a real-time environment, and you are hoping to identify real key problems. You come out with identifying about 4 to 5 key problem statements, out of which about 1 would be selected, and you are given the rest of 12 months durations to work on it. Now, the expenses that goes towards this grant is been managed by CCAMP, and also that you would be given a salary of say 50K a month to actually pursue this. This is number one. Second thing is, in case your workaround for the 12 months becomes successful and you have a very promising proof of principle being established towards tackling the problem statement that you have identified, you will be given about 5 lakhs as a kickstart grant going ahead. Now, coming to the plethora of funding programs that we have, we actually nurture the bio entrepreneurs with impactful innovations by funding them. As I had said earlier, this is partnered with BIRAC, Niti Aayog, MITI, a Japanese firm called BNV, as well as KITS, that is specific to Government of Karnataka startups. The second thing is we also help in incubation. Now, in case you're not based out of Bangalore or you are based somewhere in Karnataka, we would be able to furnish the access to the ecosystem at CCAMP via virtual incubation. We also conduct many workshops and networking events to actually mentor you and take it forward. In addition to that, there is also a deep dive with respect to your sub-thematic area going ahead, where we will be accelerating your your stage of the idea that you are. Like, for example, if you have already established a proof of concept and you need some handholding with respect to, say, clinical design studies, or with respect to the connect with regulatory officials, all of that can be part of the bio-entrepreneurial journey that we have catered to under CCAMP. Now, basically, the support of startups starts at a very early stage. We have a lot of outreach activities that are done where we hold multiple discussions with possible, individuals who identify themselves as innovators. We make sure that they understand the need that they are targeting and what would be the ask going ahead. And also, we will also handhold them in understanding that there are a lot more of business also that is involved, the understanding of business that is involved with respect to the technology that they are taking ahead. Now, next step would be to support them with respect to funding as well as incubation. So usually when it comes to bio-entrepreneurship, it is kind of money intensive at the end of the day. So probably the said individual or the said startup would not be able to buy all the equipment that is actually required. So you can tie up with us as part of incubating with us, utilize all the resources as well as instrumentation that is available, and then go ahead to, make your idea more concrete with respect to the scientific evidences that you will be collecting. After this comes a stage where, in parallel to the early stage funding incubation support that we have, it is also imperative that you have an ecosystem connect, for which CCAMP has already built a plethora of mentors as well as scientific advisors with us, including IP, regulatory, as well as international ecosystem players. After which you come up to a level where you're looking at equity-based investments. Now, bear in mind that the first 3 areas, that is outreach, early stage support, and connect, can include individuals as well as startups, and even academic faculty members or anybody from academia. But when it comes to the stage of bridge funding, it would be equity-based, and therefore it would be applicable only to companies or startups, may or may not be less than 5 years old. Now, some of the exciting funding opportunities that we have for innovators at CCAMP, please bear in mind that we have early stage funding, bridge funding, as well as scale-up funding. So as part of early stage funding, we have something called as the Biotechnology Ignition Grant Scheme, which we would be taking up in a couple of slides. Something specific to agriculture, as well as something for graduates. And then we also have a grant come investment-based opportunity when it targets AI, ML, or IoT-based big data-based activities. After this comes the bridge funding opportunity, which is, with respect to seed funds. So all of this together, we have something that goes to about 30 lakhs to about 3.3 CR. That includes the scale-up funding as well. In addition to that, we have also facilitated investment opportunities, basically hand-holding or getting one-to-one meetings with investors. So we have the investor series as far as BREC is concerned. We also have multiple connects with VCs as well as angel funding that happens in Pan India. In addition to the BIG scheme, the present call for the CCAM Capital 2B investment program is also open. So this is basically a funding opportunity up to 5 CR and it is open for startups above TRL3. Please bear in mind that this is an investment related opportunity and therefore it is applicable only to companies that have been incorporated as a private limited. Now, coming to the BIG scheme, so basically, this would be the impact slide coming up. So basically, out of the impact that is actually created by CCAMP, out of the 350 plus startups, I am quite proud to say that about 165 of them have come from the BIG cohort. And out of the 65 plus life science products that we have, it is actually backed by about 40 plus innovators that are presently fostering life science entrepreneurship in India. Innovations that are supported by CCAMP include in multiple areas. So basically, we've had quite a few, effective innovations in antimicrobial resistance, maternal and child health, non-communicable diseases, oncology, and regenerative medicines, and also with respect to nutraceuticals, agri-veterinary sciences, as well as industrial biotechnology. Funding innovations, as I said earlier, at CCAMP starts from the idea to the scale-up stage. So the early stage funding actually goes up with grants. So we had received a query in the Google form that they were not able to identify what are grants and what are investments. So whenever you are between an idea to a proof of concept stage where you are still fortifying your idea with some scientific evidence, you would be applicable for the grant stage of investments, for the grant in aid basically. And then follow on, once you have developed your proof of concept, it will go ahead with an investment route, which is basically coming to your company's account rather than to your own individual's account. After which we also have acceleration funding. So the tune of bridge funding would be something between 30 lakhs to about 50 lakhs, whereas the acceleration funding comes between say 50 lakhs to about 3.3 CR. Now, coming to the Biotechnology Ignition Grant, please bear in mind that most of the innovative ideas with strong commercial potential will be supported, and you will be given about 18 months of time to establish and validate a proof of concept once you are awarded. Now, one of the primary opportunities that you have to collaborate with the BIG grant is to choose your implementing partner. So CCAMP as an implementing partner holds mentorship as well as handholding all through the grant, even at a stage where you may apply. So basically, the last date for the application in the present call is August the 16th. In case you have an idea that you feel is promising, but you will not be able to meet with the deadline, and you're planning to apply for the next call, then we will also have you mentorship. Mentorship and handholding at CCAMP is not priced. We do it because we, trust and go ahead and vouch for the promise of your idea going ahead. 24/7 discussion related to your proposed solution can be undertaken at CCAMP. There is no equity stake once you're awarded BIG. So basically, there is no compulsion of, forming a company or all of that. But please bear in mind that the BIG scheme is one step ahead to pursue your entrepreneurial journey. So anything that you are promising to do after BIG would require investments or grants going ahead. So once you are in the investment domain, then formation of a company would be mandatory. But then you can initiate your company formation whenever you feel that you are convenient going ahead. There are no hidden charges with respect to any avenue at CCAMP. So basically, no hidden charges for mentorship, no hidden charges for handholding. And in case you are planning to incubate at CCAMP, then please bear in mind that we have rentals in place. So there is no equity even when you plan to incubate at CCAMP. All the correspondences are in line with BIRAC norms, and specific and curated decisions or discussions with BIG experts who are a part of the BIG management team at CCAMP can be undertaken at any time. Further up, we also have detailed handholding that happen up to the level of commercialization of your product. And we also go ahead with the connects with experts in respective fields and also with the experts to tide over specific roadblocks. We have an MOU with over 8 countries for soft landing your proposed solution globally. And also presently we have at least 5+ industrial collaborations irrespective of the thematic area that you are planning to apply for. Now, coming to the idea to POC stage. So please bear in mind that any startup would go through the 4 stages that you have in front of you. So basically coming from the idea, you would, fortify your idea with some scientific validations as well as scientific evidences. And you would be achieving at a stage which is proof of concept. And after the proof of concept, you would go ahead with prototyping as well as innovation. Now, please bear in mind that, the idea to POC stage is the most critical stage going ahead. And therefore, BIG becomes one of the most sought after grant and aid schemes pan India. And the main criteria under BIG is that it is pan thematic area as long as you have an application in life sciences. So it doesn't mean that you should hold a degree in biology, but you can go ahead with developing an an intervening solution in the life sciences segment, be it medical or non-medical, be in environment or agri. Now, coming to the applicant, you can be an individual, you can be a group of individuals, be it friends or a startup. If you are a group of individuals who are planning to take it forward, please nominate one person as a project coordinator, somebody who's readily available for connect with the implementing partner. If you are an individual, you can either come from the academia or from the industry, and irrespective, you can be a senior student. By senior student, we mean that you should be a graduate at the time of application. You can be a postdoc or any academic faculty member. In case you're coming from the industry, you can be an employee, you can be a founder or a veteran. Now, coming to the scope and support, it is definitely not for basic research. So please bear in mind that although the guidelines of the BIG state to be between idea to POC, we have received at least a 70% rise in the number of applications in the last 3 calls. So the competitive nature of the grant is presently on high. So basically, when you have an idea that has some sort of a preliminary, preliminary data backing, you can definitely go ahead with the POC. Some of the comments in the Google Forms actually hinted on different use case scenarios. We can take it over at the, specific to your condition in the Q&A session. It is also for, it is not for basic research, but includes a high level of innovation with the commercial prospect. Again, it is not for the other end of the spectrum where you are going in for large animal studies, clinical trials, late stage validation or certification of the technology. You can avail up to 50 lakhs. What you ask for is what you get, and the entire amount will be disbursed to your account from CCAM. And it is also not for more than 18 months time. And the 50 lakh or up to 50 lakh amount that you are asking for can be utilized for, say, equipment, manpower, consumables, travel, IP, as well as contingency. Now, coming to the technology readiness level, please bear in mind that these are the technology readiness level that have been given from NASA as well as from BIRAC. So basically, you start with, when you have an idea, you have somewhere between 1 to 2. So basically, there are some paper studies, some sort of the technologies, basic properties, etc., might be understood by you. And then you go ahead formulating the concept, formulating the idea, coming to the proof of concept stage where some sort of active R&D has already been initiated and basic technology components, etc. Biotechnology Ignition Grant usually comes between TRL 2 to 3, where at the end of Biotechnology Ignition Grant, at the end of the 18 months time, you would be reaching somewhere 5 to 6. Now, please bear in mind that you may fall somewhere between 1 to 2 as well if your intervention comes in the thematic area of drugs. Now, coming to the process of the BIG scheme, so it is a long-drawn process. So the national call is always open from the 1st of January to the every 1st of January and every 1st of July. The present call, that is call number 23, is running till August the 16th, 15th being Independence Day, which is a holiday. So basically, what are you expected to do in this 45-day duration is to upload an online application. Please bear in mind, all the applications are through the BIRAC portal. None of them would be considering hard copies or any changes to the online application. So basically, when you're uploading the online application, please bear in mind that these application is running to about 2 to 3 pages alone. But the conciseness and the preciseness of the delivery of your proposed solution is something that has to be clarified. And therefore, we have a lot of hand-holding via email as well as calls that happen, where we help you draft your proposal, to rightly understand it. So at the time of online application, we see that many of them are very technically sound, but they lack the business. So in case you require any particular handholding to understand the commercialization space, then you can just write us an email along with the draft. The draft would be shared to you at the end of this webinar, if not done already. So you can just send us specific queries as part of your cover letter and share it with us. After the close of the call, the applications that were submitted online would be taken up for eligibility screening as well as preliminary screening. After which the preliminary screening actually includes basically the plagiarism check and also whether you have selected the right thematic area. Now, being an implementing partner, if we feel that you have chosen the thematic area which is slightly different from what we feel would be right, we would be asking you whether, we would be requesting for your approval to actually change the thematic area, after you have uploaded your online application. Once approved to be clear for eligibility and checked for no plagiarism, the proposal will be going ahead with the technical review. Here, the review would be done to a blinded proposal. And about 5 thematic area experts would be judging your proposal based on the content of the application. And over here, what happens is that once you are approved by the technical review panel, then you will be presenting in front of the technical evaluation panel, after which you would get to know whether you're awarded or no, followed by due diligence and agreement signing. What is critical over here is that your online application would be entertained for 3 stages of the BIG due diligence, documentation due diligence, basically. So till the level of the online proposal, you will not be able to change any content of the application form you are uploading, except for the change of the thematic area. The only place where you can voice out is the technical evaluation panel. And this is why drafting your application for the BIG becomes very critical. So we request you to kindly utilize the time of CCAM to help you go further with this. Then the overall details that will be covered in the proposal. 1 is the basic information. So the numbers from 1 to 6 are something that would be undertaken for clearing the first 2 rounds, which is the eligibility and the PSC. And then for the online review round, anything but your personal details would be shared with the reviewing committee. So please bear in mind that some of the basic information is applicable only to individuals and some of them is applicable only to company. We will be going through that in the follow-up slides. Coming to the eligibility, the individual, whoever is applying, should be an Indian citizen. That being said, it means that if you hold an active Indian passport, you can apply for the BIG grant. If you are an OCI, so OCIs are people who are considered Indian. They may hold an Aadhaar card and other PAN cards and all of that, but their passport does not show that they are Indian. So OCIs will not be eligible for application. You will have to be incubated at a recognized technology business incubator. The list of all the TBIs that are taken up for eligibility under the BIG is presently on the BIRAC portal. In case you feel that you're a bit sensitive on time and you will not be able to go through that, we from CCAM can generate a letter of intent that states that does not have any binding in nature. So it basically states that you may look at incubation at CCAM once you are awarded. So once you're awarded, meaning like from about 6 to 7 months till the end. And in case you are not based out of Bangalore and you would like to incubate elsewhere, we can undertake that possibility as well. If you are, and from the academia, not just for faculty members, but also anybody who is already a graduate, an NOC from the institute would be required. And if you are employed in a company presently and you would like to start on your own, please bear in mind that you will have to furnish a declaration from us that you will be stepping down from your current position once you are awarded. If you are a company, then you should not be more than 5 years old. 51% of the ownership should be held by resident Indians, and whoever you are nominating as a possible project coordinator must be a shareholder in the applicant company. And by shares, we mean that we would consider even ESOPs going ahead. Now, coming to the structure and the composition, please bear in mind that it is given to a technical idea with some level of novelty in place. Novelty can be from different categories. Like, for example, if you're making it time efficient, if you're making it high on specificity and conductivity, if you are also and sensitivity, in case you're going ahead with, cost effective approach, all of these ideas can be undertaken for BIG. Please bear in mind it should have a societal impact and a technical feasibility to achieve a POC in 18 months or less. You should also have an idea as to what your competition is presently in the market. Now, coming to the team, please bear in mind that if you're a company, you may already have a team in place, but if you are coming as an individual, ensure that your CV is strong enough to support the delivery of the proposed solution, and you have identified team members. In case you're an individual and have not identified team members, then you can say that you would be recruiting some people in the future. As part of the advisory role, you will have to have some scientific advisors and business advisors. Scientific advisors are basically people who are experts or senior officials who are part of the proposed solution, or who have some idea about the proposed solution going ahead. At the time of application, business advisors are not mandatory, although they are preferred. Now, coming to the business plan, you will have to have an idea as to who your buyer is, what your market is, and who your competition is. The evaluation criteria of the grant, although is largely based on the technical merit as well as the team, please bear in mind that if you do not have a clarity on the business aspect as well as the commercialization potential, then the proposal may not be seen in the right light going ahead. Now, coming to the components in order, the proposal summary, objectives, novelty, opportunity, challenges, preliminary work, end outcomes, and commercial plan are something that you will have to look at very keenly. We will be going through each of them as per the template that we have shared with you. Now, this is basically going through the template that we have shared. So basically, you will have to declare if you are an individual or a company. If you are already incubated, then you can say give the name of the incubator. If you are not already incubated, then we will be able to generate a letter of intent from CCAMP, for which we would like to have the name of the primary applicant as well as the finalized title of the proposal. Please ensure that the title of the proposal does not run for more than, say, 100 characters. We need a very concise and precise title going ahead. So as being an incubatee, you may be in the name of the company or an individual, and the project coordinator kindly have the name of the individual who would be for ready contact from the implementing partner. The proposal duration can be for a maximum of 18 months. So at CCAMP, we usually prefer a 15 to 18 month timeline. This is bearing in mind that in case you see any shortcomings or you will have to reiterate any experiments undertaken, then you have time or you have catered to that time as well. The relevant area can be either, the 5 thematic areas that are considered for BIG, either drugs, devices, diagnostics, agriculture, or industrial biotechnology. We hope that you choose CCAMP to be your implementing partner. There are also other BIG associate partners also. So in case you do not have a BIG associate partner and you have identified only an implementing partner, even that is okay from our end. Kindly ensure to identify the right TBI as per the list on the BIRAC portal. In case you do not have the time for it, we would request you to kindly go ahead and request for a letter of intent from CCAMP. The letter of intent from CCAMP will be issued to you till August the 14th. Now, this is basically an area that is basically targeting repeat applicants. Now, when you are a repeat applicant in BIG, because of the competitive nature of the grant, you may not have, gone through the previous call of the BIG, or probably, in the online review also, probably you have not gotten through. So you will have to declare whether you are submitting the same proposal, and have you applied for the BIG in the earlier round. If yes, then you will have to mention who your BIG partner was, what was your reference, what was your earlier reference number, what is the present status of that particular proposal, the reason, meaning the comments that you have received from the online reviewers, as well as what is the action taken by you. Now, even if you had applied for BIG earlier, but presently you are coming up with a different proposed solution, please give all these details, and also mention that the action taken is primarily towards the fact that you are proposing a completely different idea in this BIG call. Now, this section is primarily only for company applicants. So basically, you will have to give the name of the company as the name of the applicant, followed by your incorporation dates, your PAN numbers, your memorandum of understanding, as well as whether, even if you're an LLP, then kindly upload your LLP agreement instead of MOA, AOA, etc. If you are a company, you will also have to declare whether you have a functional laboratory. If not, you can say that you can collaborate with CCAM for now for incubation purposes. Please bear in mind that if you are an individual applicant, all of these details are not applicable to you. If you are you will also have to declare the shareholding pattern. If you are an individual applicant, these are the aspects that only would be applicable to you. So basically, you'll have to upload your PAN card, your passport, your NOC from your parent organization in case you're coming from academia, as well as the MOU or the LOI, etc., that can be generated from CCAM. And other basic categories like whether the promoter is holding more than 20% shares and all of that. Now, in case you're an individual, kindly look at only this part of the upload. Now, please bear in mind that all of these details, the company details as well as the individual details, can be done today. You need not wait till the last minute to actually upload all of these requirements. So then going ahead, you will have to list out your team members. As I said, if you've already identified team members, it's good. Otherwise, you can actually, in the name category, you can actually say yet to recruit and then give us what designations you're looking for. Please bear in mind that the right designations are something that have to be looked at precisely. So basically, this is basically like if you're coming in for an agriculture-based solution, and if your designation is somebody in cancer biology, that would not be taken up in the right light. Then coming to the scientific advisors, kindly detail all of these areas, because this would judge who is able to back your idea completely. Please bear in mind that there is a resume in the prescribed format that is actually requested. In case you do not have time to download it or you find error on the portal for the prescribed format, the recent CV from the scientific advisor can be uploaded for tiding over time sensitivity issues. Now, coming to the proposal details, when you are sending the draft to CCAM, we request you to start from step 7. Okay, so basically what you can do is that if you are looking at applying for the BIG grant, kindly go ahead and register yourself on the BIRAC portal immediately. Once you have done that, you can either share the company information or the individual information. There will be a option of saving on your screen. Kindly use that option. Next time when you re-log into the portal, then you can just click on the proposal that you have temporarily saved and then fill in your proposal details once it is finalized in its draft format. Now, when you're sharing us the proposal details to CCAM for an overview or for feedback, kindly start from step 7 and please ensure that you are giving in the maximum of your proposed solution when you are sharing it with us, along with any sort of additional documents as well. So as part of the proposal summary, we request you to brief in one paragraph, not more than 300 words, as to what your idea is, what your problem is, and what is your project plan taking it forward. Please bear in mind that you can give an overview of statistics as well. Kindly do not include something for over 1,000 years time or something like that. The most recent statistics that you are getting from Government of India or WHO or certified websites as such can be undertaken for a possibility of sharing as to what is the impact that you're going to create with your proposed solution. You will have to identify the right gap. You will have to identify the right solution going ahead. And that is why the proposal summary is something that is key. Please bear in mind that this does not run for more than 300 words. Now, when your proposal is sent in a blinded form, it is sent to about 5 online reviewers, as I had mentioned. Each online reviewer will be able to cater to about 25 proposals, right? So if a person is doing it on the last day, then they will not be able to read through the entire aspect of your proposal. And therefore, you are expected to upload a concept note. This is basically a visual representation, probably with some scientific evidence, with necessary figures and diagrams to actually show that what exactly your summary is. So the proposal summary is something that is written in words, whereas a concept note can be a pitch deck, it can be an industrial illustration, or any sort of a graphical representation to actually back the proposal summary. Then comes the stage where you have to briefly state the objectives and approach. So basically, this includes the strategy and methodology of work. Please bear in mind that we do not need your R&D going ahead. Like, for example, if you're going to say, do a transfection or a cloning experiment, we would not want to know how much volume of a particular compound or any volume of, what concentration of, say, any particular chemical constituent you are putting into the experiment. We don't want you to reveal as to what is the RPM in which the tubes will be centrifuged, etc. But what we would like you to tell us is that if you're going in for a cloning experiment, what would be the vector that you're targeting? What would be the number of days that the cloning experiments would run to? In case there is any strategy that you feel may work out, then kindly give the methodology of work. If there are any scope and boundaries, any issues that your work will not be covering, kindly state that as well. And in case you're going ahead for some data analysis, give us a number of the population that you're targeting. Like, for example, what would be your sample size? How would you be collecting the data, etc. Then coming to the novelty, this runs to about 250 words and it is highly critical for the BIG grant. You will have to explain as to how your idea is innovative and how it is different from the existing products in the market. So even if you compare yourself to state-of-the-art, gold standards that are already present in the market, it's fine. But you will have to give us some sort of good statistics to actually take this forward. You can also upload a table that actually differentiates the strengths and the drawbacks of the present competitors with respect to the other people in the market. Now, coming to the opportunity, this gives us the idea of the societal impact or the market impact. Please bear in mind that you will have to identify the right market. So basically, if I am working with a gynecological intervention, kindly do not give us a scope of all the women presently available in the globe. You will have to target your immediate market. Say, for example, you are looking at an Indian intervention. So you will have to give us the statistics of the Indian market. Among the women in the Indian market, are you going to target for premenopausal, menopausal, or postmenopausal category? And also whether you're going to target anything from the urban, rural, semi-urban kind of a scenario as well. So the right statistics for business have to be shared here. Another critical factor over here is to recognize the challenges and risk factors. Like, for example, risk factors may include a different strategy in place. Risk factors can also include ethical clearances. Challenges also can be done. So basically what we want you to do here is that, like, for example, if you're going to work on a blood-based solution, then you will have to procure blood from somewhere. So basically hospitals or clinicians, right? So for that, what would you require? You would require a MOU with the hospital. You will require a consent from the patient, etc. And going ahead post BIG, then you will have to include something like regulatory challenges and all of that. So all of that can be put here. Please bear in mind at the time of application for the BIG, you need not have all those documents in place. If you do, well and good, but it is not important that you have all of these documents in place. But at least if you have a vision to cater that to the fact that all of these have to be done under BIG, that is enough for now. Then the preliminary data is something that is very important. The preliminary data is now becoming a crucial factor in the BIG grant, primarily because of the extent of competitiveness that goes into it. So kindly ensure that your preliminary data is having scientific evidences. So if you're giving us graphs, make sure that it is statistically important. If you're having some sort of magnification images, then ensure that what is the X of magnification, and the X of magnification should be present in the image. And also when you're sharing the preliminary data, just don't give us the graphs, just don't give us the images. Basically, we would like you to include also the inference of what it is. So basically, if you are having an idea to the POC, you have had some preliminary data to actually back you up. So the idea is what you want to work on. The preliminary work states that you have done so much of work, you have inferred so much of it. And now going ahead, you would like to extend the rest of the work under BIG. Then the proposed end outcomes, kindly clarify if there is a product based, whether it's knowledge based service or an IP that can be transferred on a later date. And also if there is a future plan of commercialization, kindly ensure who your target customers are, what would be their age group, which gender would they be, or what would be the class. Like for example, if you're coming in for a drug based intervention, then the major possibility would be that you would be collaborating with some pharma companies or something like that. So what would be a market entry strategy, whether it is going to be business to business, business to customer? If you require a rural intervention, then it would be a work with NGOs that requires B2G, that is business to government intervention as well. Kindly give us very good timelines to go in for commercialization. Like for example, I have seen drafts where people tell me that I will be able to commercialize this 1 year after BIG. That wouldn't be possible because you will have to go through regulatory, you will have to go through significant amount of paperwork going ahead. Then coming to the intellectual property, please bear in mind that in case you presently own a patent, then you can definitely go ahead and declare the patent number, the patent title, as well as the patent assignee in this matter. Now, in case you do not have a patent, then you can say that what are the possibilities, aspects of the project that you can patent for. Okay. Now coming ahead, in case you are going, so basically we would like you to do a simple search. So basically you need not go to a patent attorney or anybody like that. What we would like you to do is to do a simple web engine search and see if there are any conflicting patents. If there are, then you will have to declare them in the number 2 and number 3 aspects of this. If there are none, then you can just go ahead with it. Kindly upload relevant references. We do not want you to include references like for an academic PhD thesis. We want you to include just 1 or 2 critical references that would merit your proposal. Kindly upload a declaration document with respect to ethical, legal, safety, or regulatory issues. Now, for example, if you feel that the concept note is not enough, like one upload and the concept note is not enough, then you can use the additional relevant documents to actually upload all of that. As far as the LOI or the MOU is concerned, you already have a separate place for it to be uploaded. In case you miss that, then you can use this additional relevant document to actually upload it. Third thing is, as far as preliminary data is concerned, all the preliminary data aspects of the BIG is worded. So probably you will require the utilization of this going ahead for uploading anything with respect to a big file for your additional information. Now coming to the objectives and work plan, this is in a 3-tier approach so that we know the details behind this. So basically we would like you to give us overall objectives, say for about 6 months time. What would be the methodology of the work in 6 months time? And in case you have thought about alternate strategies, you can mention that as well. Now, second thing is the activities to be undertaken under the objectives. So probably you may have say 1, 2, 3 objectives over here. You will have about, say, for example, under the first objective, what would be the activities that you will be undertaking? How many months do you require to complete that particular activity? And in case you tell us that this particular activity is completed, then what would be the indicators of progress that you will be taking up? In case that is going to happen in a third party route, then you will have to mention whether the activities would be undertaken by the project coordinator or by the company, or would it be undertaken as part of being the collaborators approach. Again, the overview of the first and second aspects are again proposed as milestones. So basically you have objective 1, the activities, and then the indicators of progress. Please note that this is not auto-populated. So step 9 and 10 are not auto-populated to 11. So you will have to ensure the cohesiveness of step 9 and 10 into the 11. Okay. Then going ahead, as far as the budget is concerned, as I said, it can be utilized for equipment, manpower, consumables, contingency, IP, and all of that. But when you are uploading your online proposal, you have something called recurring as well as non-recurring heads. So all of that have to be undertaken over here. Please note that we do not require vendor quotations at this time. We would just require the details of the equipment, what is the capacity, and what would be the estimated value. The estimate value or the value in lakhs that you're giving here may change. That is fine, as long as you're giving us the complete quantum mentioned over here. So basically, you will give us the equipment, the human resources, the consumables, as well as other heads, how much would be going in, and ensure that the total is justified. Like, for example, if you require 40 lakhs, but you are quoting 30 lakhs, it will not be considered because you have not ensured that the budget caters to all aspects of the BIG proposal. Now, BIG scheme is highly competitive, and therefore we have seen also, repeat applicants getting selected in the follow-on BIG call as well. So in case you are a repeat applicant, please ensure that your comments received from the last applicants are polite, respectful. We understand that sometimes you may have had some critical inputs coming your way, but kindly ensure that an explanation as to whether that is applicable or not, and if it is applicable, then what have you done to negate that from your present proposal, is something that the experts actually look for. Now, the next to-do list is basically a brainstorming session with your peers. Kindly identify the need of the hour and the gap where you are going to fit your proposed solution into. The technical clarity towards the proposed solution. Please be mindful of the word limit that was suggested for each of these aspects. The budget has to be, capped at 50 lakhs. Kindly share the draft of your finalized proposal by August 10th. The last date of the LOI issuance would be August 13th. Please bear in mind that if you send us the name of the applicant and the finalized title of the proposal, we will be issuing the LOI within 48 working hours time. And the last date of this call is August 16th, but we would prefer you to finish your uploads by August 15th. This is basically to negate the last minute rush on the portal. We have seen many people who, because of the intense traffic on the portal, they miss out on submitting by 5:30 on August 16th. So we would request you to do it at least a day in advance. Thank you, and open to questions. Yeah, we have a question, a raise of hand by Shweta Sheshagiri. We request you to kindly unmute yourself and ask a question, please. Shweta? Okay, by the time Shweta gets into it, I have a question stating that you are currently incubated elsewhere. Is it compulsory to get an incubation or letter of intent from registered institutes? As I said, if you have an MOU or a letter of intent from any of the TBIs that are on the BIRAC portal, it's fine. If you are going to initiate that search now, kindly bear in mind that you can get a letter of intent from CCAM within 48 working hours of your request, and we can take it forward from there. Once you are awarded, we can have a discussion as to whether you're going ahead for, whether you're going ahead for incubation at CCAMP or not. Okay. Anant, can you kindly unmute and go ahead with your question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Please
So
go
my
ahead.
question is in two parts, or one part, but let me give some preamble because I'm coming from the tech side, computer science, engineering. So I'm looking at analytics in that direction, not any biological. I believe the word is intervention, but that's not that very important. So would you prefer me to get your feedback on my proposed ideas by email and the 1 hour session, and then submit a proposal by the 15th of August? Or do you prefer me to submit a proposal, get your input, then edit my proposal and resubmit? What do you recommend? I was not clear. I missed a couple of slides there.
Right. So
Thank you.
actually, if you are submitting your proposal onto the portal, you cannot make any changes to it, at least for the present call. So
Okay.
that's why I had said that the initial part, the first 6 parts of the proposal basically includes company information, individual information as is applicable to you.
Correct.
You can fill that, you can save it. So in your login, you will have a temp ID that is created with respect to the proposal that you had given, correct?
Understand.
And parallelly, you can share a draft of your proposal with the BIG management team here at CCAM, correct? And then once you have received the critical, curated and constructed feedback from our end, because we have been handling the scheme from the first call. So we kind of have an idea as to what would be expected, whether you can rephrase it better, whether there are certain aspects that seem to be having a gap presently. You may feel that some of the preliminary data may not be exactly meriting the situation, but we see it in a different light. Whatever the aspects are that we feel require an intervention from the applicant's end, we will be reverting through an email. And after that,
go on. Sorry. Continue.
Just a minute. And after that, if you want to rework on your proposal and share the draft again with us for the second time, we are open to that as well. So once you are, finalizing it from your end, through and through, you can go ahead and upload it onto the proposal, onto the BARAC portal, preferably by August 15th, if not August 16th.
August 16th. Okay, that was the second thing. I thought I saw August 20 somewhere, but 15. Let's shoot for 15 because I like to have a day in hand.
Yeah.
And then I also saw one slide. Sorry, everybody, just a quick follow-up question. I also saw one slide that said if the applicants are not comfortable or other side CCAMP are not comfortable, then just continue with the application and you might do some hand-holding to prepare for the next call. Is that something?
No. So usually what happens is that, by August 16, because you have another 21 days left, right? Not everybody, because we have interacted with quite a few people who have joined as participants today. They already know about BIG and all of that. Some of them are fresh people who are coming in, just to know what it is all about and all of that. So if they cannot meet with the August 16th timeline, then CCAMP also mentors through 6 months or 1 year, and then they can apply whenever they are ready. So even that happens. Yes. So if you can meet with the August 16th deadline, we would expect a good proposal from you going ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Of course, I want to say my proposal is the best, but I would keep that in reserve also, the 6-month mentorship. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah. Vedam Karthik, kindly unmute yourself, please.
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Myself, Sai Krishna. I am a busy faculty actually. I can't involve straight away in the program. If I am at the idea level and do it well, can I expect some prize money around about 50 lakhs without starting the startup?
This is not a prize money. This is not a prize money. This is basically a grant in aid. The amount that you are requesting, is actually released in tranches as and when you're completing your milestones. Okay.
That's what, ma'am. Is it a must that I should go for a startup, or if the idea fructifies, can I keep the money for myself?
The money has to be utilized for the project, for the R&D. This is not a personal commitment coming. That's what I said. It's not price money. It is based on your R&D milestones. Okay. Now, that being said, at CCAMP, we give a choice whether you want to be a company at the end of BIG, or you want to continue as an individual. But, bearing in mind that the trajectory of the BIG is towards entrepreneurship, and the follow on, if the proposed solution has to see the light of day towards commercialization, the startup incorporation is something that would be necessary going ahead.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. All right. We have a question whether LLP is eligible. LLPs are eligible as long as you are less than 5 years old. Partnership firms, however, are not eligible. I hope that's clear. Coming to Praveen Roy, kindly unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi, Praveen.
I am a part of private limited. So I work for some other company, but I'm one of the shareholders, not the directors. The director is someone from INSTEM, your neighboring place. He's a PhD student there, so he will be representing it. So
Okay.
we are a compute-based company, biocomputing, bioinformatics, that type of company. So is incubation really required, because we usually use all computes. Physically, we do not need to be there, and we mostly want to do it through cloud and all. So do we need incubation? Or at least just a letter of intent is enough, and we don't have to actually incubate after the grant has been received?
At the time of application, LOI is all that is necessary. LOI or an MOU from the incubator is all that is necessary. In case you have not proceeded to have a rental agreement from the TBI that you have identified, even then, if the TBI is ready to generate a letter of intent, that is enough. Now, in case that falls apart, then CCAMP also generates a letter of intent from our end, stating that you may look at incubation once you are awarded.
Okay.
Now, once you are awarded, the transition between academic life cycle and entrepreneurial life cycle is better understood if you are incorporated in a TBI or incubated in a TBI. So that is the reason after getting awarded, we ensure that, you are associated with a TBI. If it is Bangalore, then we prefer CCAMP for obvious reasons. So that is the thing. But at the time of application, an LOI would suffice.
I just have another quick question.
Yeah.
So in your facilities, I did not actually notice any compute clusters, high performance compute clusters. Does CCAMP actually host them? We
do host them. You can just send us an email and I can get you in touch with somebody.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a question in the chat box stating if you would be eligible to the BIRAC BIG grant if your startup company is also Startup India registered, although you are living elsewhere out of India. Please bear in mind that if you are going through the company route, you will definitely be eligible to apply. Please ensure that at least 51% of the ownership of the company is Indian. And even if you have received any other grants or investments, if you have some proof of principle at your behest, then you can definitely go ahead and apply. There's no issues. Just ensure that in case you've already received a grant, then there are no similar milestones going ahead for the BIG. Thank you. Nikita Sawant.
Hello, ma'am. I have a question regarding the thing you said about the mentoring. So I'm looking forward for applying for this cycle of BIG. And can I get a mentoring session from your end, CCAMP, to assess the thing, what I'm proposing and currently working is good enough for going ahead for the grant?
Yeah, what you can do is you can write us an email in case you request a one-on-one session with you. Any of you can just write us an email at ccamp_big@ccamp.res.in or reply to the email that was sent to you, and we'll schedule something immediately.
Okay, ma'am. And then we can go ahead to see whether this cycle can be initiated or we can look for the second one.
Yes.
I have a second question, ma'am. Being that you have mentioned few of the incubation programs at your end, how can we apply? Because we are.
The incubation is pretty straightforward at CCAMP. Again, I would request you to send us an email. If you're also looking at incubation services, connect with the OTT and all of that, you can just send us an email with respect to any aspects that were mentioned in the slides. Primarily, I wouldn't like to put up all the emails because it will be overwhelming to everyone.
Absolutely.
So if you have one point of contact, it is better if you get divulged into the right point of contact. That is not an issue. Incubation at CCAMP is pretty straightforward. There are no equity benefits coming in if you are incubating with us. So we also have individuals as well as companies who have incorporated. Basically, you pay your rentals for the time that you are here, and you can take it forward from there.
Okay. And for that incubation program, do you help us getting few of the grants which are below, like Nidhi Prayas or anything like that?
Every application here runs independently. So if you're looking at funding, the funding team would be catering to it. If you're looking at incubation, then the incubation team would be looking into it.
Okay. So I have to address the emails shared by you, given from your end.
Just write us an email as to what specific queries you have, and we can take it forward from there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right. So Arvindan, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, nice presentation.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. One is like I have already taken the patent and we wanted to develop a product. Okay. The whole idea which I have in mind is within that 1.5 years, we want to develop the product and do a small scale kind of a clinical study to find out, because it's a diagnostic kit. We wanted to see whether it is useful or not. And after that, I wanted to, sell this whole concept or idea and product to a bigger company. Right? As of now, I don't have any idea of starting up a company and things like that. So will this idea, right now I have a company who is willing to help me up with respect to, producing this product, because they have the technology, we have the idea. We have already done the patenting of the basic principle. So will this one fit into the big scheme? So that is one question which I wanted to ask.
Right. So as far as what you're telling me, although you will have a collaborator on a later date, for now you will be undertaking the R&D by yourself, right, towards the BIG, at least for the next 15 to 18 months time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can go ahead. You can just share the draft with us and we can take it forward from there. And
another thing is, I started filling up the application form, and there is one place where it is saying, whatever product you are developing, you have to do a comparison with whatever product which is already available in the market.
Right.
So, to the best of my knowledge, the product which we are planning to develop is a prognostic kit, and no prognostic kit is currently available for the disease which we are targeting. So what do I write there?
So if you have key features that are actually kind of different, like for example, you may, like in a breast cancer intervention or something like that, you may probably have a surge of diagnostic kits, not prognostic kits, right? But the delivery, no, I'm just giving you an example. But the delivery and the merits of those probable solutions, although not prognostic, may require some gold standards from your kit as well, although it is prognostic in nature. So if you have any such features, even if they are diagnostic, you can actually use them for comparison.
So even though I'm proposing a prognostic kit, I can do a comparison with the diagnostic.
So basically you can just say, like, for example, different features or something would be available, right? So the first thing would be either it's a prognostic or a diagnostic. So in that itself, you filter out your novelty factor or your value differentiation factor. Then probably you can have something like result time or time effectiveness or cost effective or anything of that sort. So these are all add-ons.
And the third question is, see, my objective is very precise. I want to develop that kit because the patent has already been taken. And I exactly know what are the components which I want to put into that particular kit. So in this one, how do I split it into 3 objectives or 2 objectives? Because there is going to be just one objective. You want a time frame based objective.
Yeah. So basically your aim of the study would be one under BIG, correct? Yeah. That you want to get a beta prototype of the prognostic kits that you have in mind.
Right.
Or a device, or a kit that is ready for clinical validation. Right. Correct? So for that, you will have to do many other things. Like, for example, you may have to make a 3D prototype. You may need to make it into medical grade. You need to make different things. And also, at the end of BIG, probably the last 3 months, you can run a pilot clinical for about, say, 10 samples or 15 samples, after which you can scale up with other follow-on grants. Right. So that is the categorization that we need month-wise or 6 month-wise.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll send a proposal to you.
Sure.
And I also need a personal, like that mentoring, because it's the first time I'm applying, and I've been a basic science person, first time entering into applied biology. So many of the technical terms which you're using are also like reconnating to me. So I definitely need some mentoring.
We are open to that. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sri Rupa Mukhopadhyay, kindly unmute yourself, please. Okay. Mr. Nagananda, if you can kindly unmute.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hello, madam. I have a question that already I'm a director of a company, private limited company. Already we have finished 5 years of the incubator. We have crossed 5 years.
Of incorporation?
Yeah, incorporation.
Okay.
Now, as an individual, can I apply?
Yeah, you can apply, but we would require the declaration from you that you are ready to step down from your current position. And also that you cannot hold more than 20% shares in another biotech company.
Okay.
So you will have to meet these two eligibility criteria going ahead.
Stepping down from the director position as
Stepping
well as
down from your current position, irrespective of what it is, at the time of getting awarded, and the fact that you should not hold more than 20% shares in any biotech company.
Okay. And if I need to send the proposal, do I need to mail, or do I need to upload the document which will be verified and then we will be getting back to us?
Email it to us, please.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Ruchita Hazrati, kindly unmute.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ashima Nehra from AIIMS.
Oh, wonderful. Hi. Yeah.
We have 3 quick questions.
Yeah.
One, if we want to develop a diagnostic tool in collaboration with a technological university, another academic institute, can we apply as a group in that?
Well, see, collaborative efforts are fine. That is okay. But, you will have to nominate one person as a project coordinator, and the project coordinator should undertake at least 75% of the R&D that you have ideated under BIG. Correct? That being said, the collaborators can either be team members or scientific advisors. That is fine.
In that case, would the collaborating institute be eligible for manpower?
The institute will not be eligible. The said individual may be eligible. But that person has to work exclusively for the BIG grant. They cannot draw salary from 2 sources because that goes against the rules of income tax, Government of India.
Second question would be, we already have a proposal under consideration under the PACE scheme of BIRAC. Would we be eligible to apply under the BIG scheme?
Yeah, if you are not selected for the PACE, then you can go ahead with the BIG with the same milestones. In case you get awarded the PACE, then the milestones under BIG will have to change.
Ma'am, this would be a different proposal.
You're talking about 2 different ideas?
2 different ideas.
Yeah, then you can go ahead, no problem.
And one last question. How many proposals could we be putting in under BIG?
So the present guidelines and the notification from BIRAC indicates that only one person, for one individual or for one applicant, only one idea per call can be entertained.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Ashoka Chandrasekhar, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Hi.
It was a quite interesting and very informative talk you were given about overall perspective about apply for the grant. See, my field, I am interested to work on the data analytics. I come from the diagnostic background and all that. See, I already posted a question about it. How my idea work in terms of data analytics. Is there any separate grant? But you give the talk, I heard that you're also interested to give the projects for the AML related problem solving ideas. So you're going to consider that because it's totally basically it does not require any kind of wet lab work, anything. It's basically involved a lot of data collection, data curation, developing AI algorithms.
I got that, but
yeah.
what would be the path for commercialization for this?
There's a lot of opportunities for the commercialization process in terms of generating a subscription across the healthcare industry. Yeah, basically when they use our tools, I'm basically trying to integrate a lot of AI tools in the database so that it can be capitalized and it will ease the time to generate the data in terms of microbiology related area. So that's the reason I want to know very particular about whether are you going to support this kind of, because this involves a lot of man resources, technical involvement, maybe buying some software and kind of that. So it will be eligible for me to apply for the grant. And the 18 months time, it looks great, but point of how does the big grant help me in this case? Yeah.
Right. So see, the thing is, if you're talking about data collection and all of that, it seems a bit exploratory at this stage with what you have explained.
Yeah.
Now, in case you already have pivoted this with a clinician or something like that, just garnered some sort of preliminary data saying that this can be scaled further under BIG, you probably can apply. But the only footfall over here or the only valid point over here would be that you will have to clearly demarcate your commercialization strategy in good detail.
Yeah, that I can do it. But
so you would be eligible for the BIG. I wouldn't say no because this comes under healthcare. You can apply, but yes, we would have to work towards the asks of the BIG grant a bit more seriously than.
When I've gone through the BIRAC thing, the big grant, they specifically mentioned the one division as AIML, right? That approach is already recognized it and the proposal can be put forth.
Okay.
So that's the reason I'm asking all that. Yeah.
So BIRAC, which edition of, I mean, which vertical of
recently
BIRAC?
What you send the mail about it, and it's there in that.
Okay.
AML approach is also included in that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. All right. So just send us the draft ones. We will.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay. Thanks. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Dr. Sujata, kindly unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for enlightening us about all these things. Though the big grant I have seen many times, but I had a fear in applying for it because as the name says, it is big, and I don't know whether a preliminary academician like myself can apply for it. But your talk has given a very nice detail, and it has motivated me to apply for it. I have 3 questions to be clarified, ma'am. One is that is this particular grant applicable for IP development, or it should be strictly commercialized? At this point, can I go for IP at the end of the tenure, and can I commercialize it later after? Because that may take some more time for me to think and go for a startup. Is that fine?
So basically, at the end of BIG, we are looking at a prototype or a device from you that can go ahead for clinical trials or scientific validation, clinical validations for that matter. Correct? After that, you will take at least 3 to 4 years of time, once approved by the regulatory authorities, to commercialize.
Correct.
So at the end of BIG, we are looking at only a beta prototype from you.
Okay. The prototype will be made as well as it can be subjected to pilot scale validation also.
Yeah, minimum pilot. Pilot.
Yeah, that will be taken care.
Yes.
But all these things should be taking place within 18 months of tenure. Am I right?
Yes.
Within 18 months, I need to complete all these things along with the validation.
Along with the pilot validation.
Pilot validation.
Yes.
Okay. And I have another question. Like for incubation with CCAM, is it mandatory, or I understood that getting LOI is mandatory, but is it mandatory to be incubated for the project? Or after getting LOI, can I continue with my same place because I am working in SRM and we have all the facilities to carry out the project here itself?
Right.
We are in Chennai right now.
Right. So if you're not based out of Bangalore, we kind of don't make it mandatory to incubate at CCAM, but that because that requires a lot of personal as well as professional commitments to be catered to. If you're in Bangalore, we would prefer you to incubate at CCAM for what we are. But however, I mean, LOI also is not mandatory from CCAM. LOI from your Bioness Center is also fine. But in case there are any delays, then we do have a backup with us.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So in the chat box, we have seen quite a few queries with respect to passport. In case you do not have a passport or you have an expired passport, what you can do is that you can upload, the expired passport, the first and the last pages of the expired passport, or your Aadhaar card at the time of application. During eligibility, you can either furnish the passport that is active, or you can share with us an affidavit that states that you are an Indian national on a 20 rupee stamp paper. Okay. Then going ahead, can a PI be an OCI who is a minority shareholder? I would request Yosha to kindly, raise your hand for this query. Thank you. Mr. Mahendra Saran. Kindly unmute yourself, please.
Hello, ma'am.
Sorry, just a minute. Mr. Mahendra, can you kindly unmute? Okay, I don't get a response from that. Mr. Ashoka, can you kindly unmute? If similar queries are already been catered to, I request you to kindly lower your hand. That kind of avoids a lot of confusion. Mr. Vivek Sharma.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, my work is related to plastic waste. I am eligible for this grant.
Yes, you are. As long as you have a commercialization strategy behind it, you can definitely apply.
Okay. Or yes, it belongs to which category? Waste management?
Yeah,
Okay.
so under agriculture, you have waste management, or even under industrial biotechnology, you have waste management. So you can definitely apply.
Okay. Clean energy is not here. Clean energy.
Clean energy is also a part of this. Yes. So you can choose which one would be best.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ria Bosco, kindly unmute. Yeah, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am, I had a doubt about the drug delivery that you've mentioned, that when it takes to clinical trials, you do not approve those proposals.
I'm sorry,
so
when you go for clinical trials, what happens?
Like the proposals that come with clinical trials, when they go for the drug delivery, you do not approve those proposals. So, but to formulate any drug, we have to try it on higher animals, no ma'am. So we would definitely be needing clinical trials. But you have opened up but the proposals are open for drug delivery also. So I don't understand what kind of drugs are you actually mentioning there, or like the drugs without clinical trials means I don't understand that. Would you please explain that?
No, see, BIG is an ignition grant. Okay. So if you're going to go in for large animal clinical trials, 50 lakhs will not do. Anything that makes you confirm that your molecule of interest is a drug-like molecule, and you can do some in vivo conditions studies, like for example, to a maximum of say guinea pig or hamsters, we can undertake it under BIG.
Okay.
Now, when you're going ahead for say some large scale clinical trials, that includes even higher mammals, we will not be able to undertake it as a BIG perspective, primarily because the budgeting under BIG would not be justified for that particular purpose.
Okay, ma'am, I got it. Because I was asking about animals still like mice or rats only. We are not aiming to go for any higher animals beyond that. So I had only that doubt in mind.
Sure. You can definitely go ahead if you fit into the conditions that I have mentioned.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. So we have a couple of questions with respect to people who are not registered as a private limited. Please bear in mind that other than private limited, LLPs can apply. Irrespective of whether you're an LLP or a private limited, a company applicant that is less than 5 years old are eligible for application. Please bear in mind that a proprietorship firm will not be eligible for application. Thank you. Going ahead with Mr. Sadhguru, kindly unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I have a question regarding eligibility. So I have been a part of a company previously, and the company has been awarded a big grant before. Now, after that, I left the company. So can I now apply for big grant as an individual? So that's my question.
What is your present employee situation? Are you employed elsewhere or?
I'm not employed elsewhere.
Is the idea different?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay. And when the company got selected for the BIG, were you the project coordinator?
No, I was not the project coordinator.
You were a team member.
Yeah, I was a part of the company. I was one of the directors.
So you were a director?
Yeah.
Okay. You can put in your application as an individual awardee. We will require some supporting evidences during the eligibility, which you will have to furnish with respect to your present situation as well as with the previous company as well. So I guess we can undertake it as part of eligibility, wouldn't be an issue.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Vivek Sharma. Okay. Mr. Ganesh Muthu, kindly unmute.
Yeah, hi. I have a question related to the point number 11 of the application form, which is uploading of the declaration forms for ethical related to ethical and the safety. So is it mandatory, or if so, from whom should it be issued?
It is not required to be issued at the time of application. It's just that we require you to tell us what would probably be the ethical compliances coming your way if you are undertaking this particular grant. So basically, like for example, if you need patient consent forms, we don't need the forms from you at the time of application. We just require you to tell us that you may require patient consent forms, ethics, IAC clearances from the hospital and all of that.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Amrit Shahu Roy, kindly unmute yourself, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Amritanshu. I'm a farmer, so obviously you know what category I fall in. The question number one was that it covers from post idea to product creation, the entire gamut, correct? And the scientific advisor, the partners, and the incubation. I need just letter of intent for application purposes. I do not need to have them on board while I'm making an application. Have I understood that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Point number two.
Yes, please. Hello. Mr. Rai, we lost you.
but it's not really broad-based. And the technology has got a huge commercial potential. We are going to...
Mr. Rai, we are losing you in between. I think the connection seems a bit weak. Hello, Mr. Rai?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Now we can. We lost you in between.
I'm
can
so
you just
sorry.
reiterate your second query?
Yeah, okay. So the product is not indigenously available. It's a technology that was developed abroad, right? Now it has got huge commercial potential going forward from here. And the technology that is there is not reliable and has not been adapted to the Indian environment. So what we are proposing is a lot of different key features and value added and indigenizing the technology. Does it qualify as new technology?
Has this technology been patented by any other company elsewhere globally?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And are you getting the same product to be validated for Indian conditions or Indian population?
No, we are completely creating a new product here.
Okay. That is fine. Then you can go ahead. Yeah, then you can go ahead with your application, but you will have to give us a good value differentiation and a very strong novelty factor when it comes into your proposed solution.
But that technology is not available, and the manufacturers in India are not, there are no manufacturers that are manufacturing.
We can put you in touch with quite a few of them. We have an ecosystem for that as well. So unless we see the nitty-gritty of the draft behind the proposal, we will not be able to handhold you in the right merit. And I also understand that this is a public forum in a way. So anything proprietary may require, it would not be the best way to go. So kindly send to us the draft and we can look into it for a critical handholding.
So when you say the draft proposal, is it going to be a Word document of what I have already mentioned in the application, copy paste, or is it going to be a completely different Word document that is being sent to you as draft?
No. The template that is shared for the draft agreement is basically a skeletal format of what you have to upload onto the portal. So it's the same.
Okay,
it's just that before you submit it onto the portal, because you will not be able to revise anything once you submit it, we request you to upload your primary information, like either with respect to the company or with respect to the individual, and just wait for our feedback so that you can finalize it and then submit it in finality.
So does it work if I write it on the application, save the draft, and let you know that I've saved the draft? If you can have a look at it.
No, we will not be able to access your login. It would not be ethical of us to access your login at that time. You have two choices. Either you make it into a Word document and share it with us, or there is an option on the BIRAC portal to download a PDF version of whatever is saved onto the portal. So either which you can submit, you can share it with us.
Thank you for your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Yogesh Kumar.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
So does CCAM host any energy kind of startup, energy domain startups?
Clean energy, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And what are the different kind of area we can, means I don't have general idea about that energy domain. So my proposal is in energy saving and global warming kind of stuff.
Okay, so kindly share us your draft. Without knowing what is the details behind your proposed solution, we will not be able to handhold or network for you.
Okay, so just share the which email ID I can share that thing.
Yeah, the email ID, the email that was sent to you regarding this webinar, you can just reply to that.
Okay, yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Please bear in mind with respect to any queries of publications, considering that you are going to go ahead for commercialization under the BIG, Patents are something that we hold to be of primary importance. After you have generated the patent, you can definitely go ahead and make a publication out of it. But the preferred way would be patent to publication rather than publication to patent. Thank you. Any requests with respect to letter of letter of intent or draft of the proposal can be shared as a response to the email ID to which you receive the communication on. We will look into it and revert on it within 48 working hours time. Thank you. Please bear in mind that no academic institutes or no facilitation centers can apply for this grant. It is primarily open only for individuals, faculty members, academicians, and startups alone. It is not for any institute and because it is not a part of the academic grant. Thank you. Ms. Megha Gupta, kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you for the presentation, ma'am. Ma'am, we had just one query that we already are a company, private limited company from past 3 years, and we have been generating revenues. But now we are looking forward to get into a manufacturing, as currently we are a marketplace, but we are now looking to assemble and manufacture our own product. So for the same, are we eligible to apply?
Are you manufacturing a third party this thing, or are you manufacturing something that you're going to develop in-house?
No, so it will be in-house. We will be collaborating with a company for the technology. So it's I would say in collaboration with one company. It's the non-Indian company. And we are bringing the technology to India.
And 75% of the R&D part of the BIG would be catered to by the Indian entity?
Yes, R&D will be catered here.
Not here. I mean, will it be catered by
the Indian company? Yes, by us. Yes.
Okay.
We are an Indian company.
No. What I mean is, like, because you said that some of the, POC aspects would be undertaken with the foreign entity.
Correct.
So the R&D is actually shared between the Indian entity and the foreign entity. How are you going to arrive on that device? If the device has to be made into a beta prototype, to achieve to that stage, you will be collaborating with the foreign entity.
Yes.
So that amount of effort, manpower, and the work that is done, is it done by the Indian entity, 75%?
It will be done by the Indian entity, yes.
Then you can go ahead and apply, no problem. And the foreign entity can be scientific advisors.
Scientific advisors. Okay, got it.
Not the company, the individuals of that company can be a scientific advisor.
Okay, and we can apply by the name of our company, right?
Yes.
Our own current activity.
If you're less than 3 years old, then you can.
We are a 3-year-old. I mean,
yeah, that's what I said. If you're less than 5 years old, you can definitely apply. No problem.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yes. Great. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Hemant, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for that great presentation. In fact, last time I just lost the last date also because I was busy with something else. I find a lot of inputs which are very good at this time. I just want to know that if I have a US patent for a medical device, I'm working in a medical college as a faculty in Mumbai. I can continue the grant plus my faculty position and do the innovation and entrepreneurship together. This was one part. The second part is my device needs something which is called as nitinol. It's an alloy of nickel and titanium, for which I need to do only POC and make a prototype and see to it that it works very well in your rapid prototyping micro fab lab.
Okay. So basically for the first one, as long as you can give us an NOC from your institute that the institute has no issues with you undertaking the entrepreneurial pursuit, we are good to go. We have no issues because the budget that would be undertaken for the BIG would be coming to an Olin account that is either in your name as an individual or the name of your company. Okay, that is number one. Second thing is, in case you want to utilize the Fab Lab here, please bear in mind that there is a head for outsourcing under BIG, under which you can utilize the services of CCAM to further the BIG proposed solution.
So the best idea would be apply for the proposal, then use the microfab lab.
You can use the microfab lab irrespective of the decision of the BIG. It's not an issue because any services that I have mentioned on the screen today is pay-per-use, either per sample or per run or number of hours. So irrespective of the BIG outcome, you can start networking with the microfab lab. In case you do not have a connect with them already, we can put you in touch with them. Kindly send us an email in this regard.
Sure. And the last question was, if 18 months is a long period for the entire process to happen, this will involve designing, then making a proof of concept, and eventually testing the device itself. That should not take more than 6 to 9 months. So if a big grant is granted, can we just finish the project before 18 months?
So at CCAM, we usually take up a timeline of between 15 to 18 months. This is basically catering to any sort of reiteration of experiments or anything of that sort. Like, for example, if you have any procurement issues, in case there are any unforeseen delays or something, we usually have it between 15 to 18 months time.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ashwin Desai, kindly unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Very nice talk. I wanted to ask this. I am at a university. So can I present my research as an individual and apply for the grant from the university side?
The awardee of the BIG would be you. It cannot be the university. The funds come in either the name of the individual as an applicant or in the name of the company that applicant is looking for. The funds are not released to any academic institute or facilitation center.
Okay, so can I apply for this BIG on my university's name?
No, that's what I said. It will be in your name.
On my name. As an individual, I can apply.
Yes. As long as you get an NOC from your institute, you can apply.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. For any company applicant who are less than 1 year old or have not undertaken an audit, there is a segment which is called audited financial statements. You can just upload a declaration over there in your company letterhead stating that the audit of your company is yet awaited or cannot be done because you're less than 1 year old. I hope that answers. Mr. Ravi Chakrabarti, kindly unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Nita ma'am. We are currently incubated under STPI MedTech COE. And, we are developing a medical diagnosis device. And I would like to know what is the minimal requirement of clinical data that is needed to support the proposal?
So clinical data as such is not required because clinical data is something that you will be arriving at the end of POC or in the final stages of the BIG. We would like you to have at least concrete data for spiked samples at the time of application.
Okay.
If you have anything with clinical samples, well and good, but usually that is something that is undertaken towards the end of the BIG.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you so much, Nita ma'am.
Thank you. Nikita, do you have another question?
Yes, ma'am. There is one more question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, currently I'm located in Pune, and if I avail this grant from CCAM, which is based out of Bangalore, do I have to shift or because
No, because you're based out of Pune, you can work there, but you will have to be associated with some TBI in Pune.
Okay, like NCL, which is one of
VC. Yes, you can be incubated at VC and be implemented by CCAM.
Okay, but currently we are incubated at one of the AIC. So if it is in the list, we can go for it. Or
yes. If it is in the list, of the Bioness centers as far as the BIRAC website is concerned, you can go ahead. But irrespective of that, in case there is any delay with documentation, letter of intent or anything of that sort, you can fall back on CCAM. No problem.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Ganesh, kindly go ahead with your question. Mr. Ganesh? Okay. Mrs. Shaktived?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Smith.
hi, sorry, yes.
Yeah, I was asking about this animal testing and clinical tests, and you answered to somebody else. I learned something actually. And could you explain further about that, ma'am?
So the animal tests basically, see, clinical validations are something that you undertake after BIG, because that includes a clinical partner. You will have to do it in a mass scale, right? You need at least 200 to 300 samples cohort to go ahead for a clinical trial. But you can do a pilot clinical, like for example, for say 20 samples or 50 samples or something like that, you can go for a pilot clinical under BIG. This is basically to establish the validation of your project to a POC level, saying for strong evidence behind your proposed solution. And second thing is, this also helps you to talk in a very strong pursuit towards your clinical partners as well, possible clinical partners. And if you look at the BIG budget also, it comes to 50 lakhs. So anything beyond 50 clinical samples cannot be undertaken under BIG.
Okay, how about other than BIG incubation with you?
It can run in parallel as well. So you need not have been funded from CCAM to incubated CCAM.
Okay.
You can also explore incubation formalities. You can also explore services, technology, resources independently of being funded by CCAM.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shaktived? Okay. Mr. Arun Kumar? Mr. Arun Kumar, kindly unmute yourself. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Answered.
LLP, is it? Okay, we're losing you. Can you please come a bit closer to your mic?
Is it better?
Slightly. Yes.
So LLP audited financial results. I will upload a declaration. It is just clarified.
Yes.
Number one. Number two is, can you just, I think you touched upon for people who are outside Bangalore. Can you just explain that again, like me, so I should find some center here in Chennai.
So basically what you can do is, at the time of application, it is not mandatory to be incubated anywhere. Okay. So you can just get a letter of intent from us.
Correct.
And after you get to know you are awarded, you can choose the incubator of your choice. Now, the choice of the incubator can be either based out of your geographical location or CCAM, or virtually incubated at CCAM along with the incubator at your geographical location.
Okay.
So this is something that we can decide on and discuss after you are awarded. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So the next question is, you are given a list of labs and equipment. I think, I don't know whether it's a short list or the complete comprehensive list.
No, that's a very short list. Yeah.
Okay. In which case, if something needed by me is available or not, I inquire and then find out. Am I right?
Yes.
And if it is not there, will CCAM procure it?
So CCAM will not procure it. You will have to procure it by yourself, and you will have to house it wherever you are doing your R&D. Because if CCAM procures it for you, then we will own the equipment and you will not be able to cater to anything after BIG after that.
Okay. Got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The last one is that, advisor is not mandatory.
Business advisor at the time of application is not mandatory. If you have some, then it is great. Otherwise, kindly mention that you are going to finalize a couple of people. Scientific this thing is mandatory. Scientific advisor is mandatory.
So who should be that? I know what qualifications.
Scientific advisor is basically an expert in your proposed solution. So like, for example, if you're going for a medical device based initiative, kindly find an expert who has at least either had an industry experience with that, or comes with a regulatory experience regarding medical device or anything of that sort. So somebody who is an expert in that. A scientific advisor who is a person who can help you tide over any R&D based speed bumps along the way. So scientific advisors and business advisors are available at CCAM, but we would like you to have somebody on board as well, because falling back on the CCAM ecosystem is not exactly helping your independent route to entrepreneurship.
Okay, that might be that is definitely
no.
a point,
if you don't have anyone,
yeah.
Once you are awarded, we can suggest people. That's not an issue.
But then your scientific advice is mandatory, no?
If you have someone, it's great. I mean, you definitely need hand-holding when you're coming to entrepreneurship.
I agree, but what I'm saying is scientific advisor at the point of application.
That person can be of academic nature also.
Okay. But in case I don't find anyone, is there some people I can approach in CCAMP itself? Then, is it an option?
You can, no problem.
Okay, and I will have to inquire or come and find out there, discuss with you.
You can just write an email for us. That would be best.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Nateshan, kindly unmute yourself.
Very good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I am actually assistant professor in Kumaraguru College of Technology. Ma'am, my doubt is it essential to have an industrial partner? And my second question is, what kind of TRL level required to apply for big grant? And my third question is, suppose I have an idea and I don't find any proper industrial partner because I am afraid of the knowledge theft. So what can I do? So is there
okay, so the first question is with respect to
industrial partner.
Industrial partner is not exactly mandatory at the time of application, but we would like you to identify anybody who can be a potential competitor. That is the only thing. If you do not have an industrial partner, it's fine. It's not something that is mandatory.
Benchmarking is required.
Yeah. So you will have to just identify people who may be a competitor today, but may turn into a collaborator on a later date. Okay. That is number one. Second thing is
TRL level.
TRL level, as I had mentioned, mostly all the people who are applying for the BIG grant come somewhere between 2 to 4. And when you are, completing your BIG, you're somewhere between 5 to 7.
Okay.
Pan-thematic area. Yeah, probably a little, between 3 to 4 for somewhere in devices or something like that. But yeah, 2 to 4, and then you would be clearing it between 5 to 7.
I have the concept related to a food product, ma'am.
Yeah, and sorry, the third question that you have was with respect to issues with knowledge.
Yeah, issues with the law. Knowledge.
Can you just explain that to me? I didn't
Ma'am,
quite
I have the concept that I am going to apply for patent. It's not till date, it's not patented. So I have to explain the concept to an industry to be a partner. So what I am afraid of, if I explain it, they will commercialize and they go ahead.
So industry-related talks are usually best done once you have achieved your POC and you have gotten your patent. That will be best, because then the industry would be able to partner with you business-wise, correct? So that is always best. So if you want to proceed somewhere till the industry, then I think the BIG is one of the very good opportunities that you have at the moment.
And my last question, I have a concept related to food product.
Okay.
Ready to serve food product. Is it possible to apply through big grant?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Pooja, kindly unmute yourself. Hello, Dr. Pooja. Anuj, kindly unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I have one query, ma'am. Presently, I'm working at College of TNU, ma'am. It is a private, not a government, ma'am. I'm working as on a contractual basis. So, can I'm eligible as a visiting scientist in the any company if I approach for this project, ma'am? I have some idea, ma'am, to share with the company people. I want to work as a visiting scientist in that company. Like that, any chances are there, ma'am?
So you have two opportunities under BIG to be an applicant. One, you take care of the idea of your own and go ahead with it by yourself, by forming a company by yourself. If you are going to apply in the name of the company, please ensure that you hold shares in that company at the time of application.
Yes, ma'am. And I want some monitoring about this, ma'am. Actually, I don't have much idea about this project, and I did not attend the previous starting. I did not attend, ma'am, as I was busy with some official work. So I will go through that, and if I have any doubt, I will ask in the mail, ma'am. Please respond me.
So the entire interaction today is live on YouTube. You will also have a recorded link under CCAM Bangalore
Yes,
thread.
ma'am.
So you can go through that and revert, no problem.
Ma'am, please tell me your mail ID, ma'am.
The same email ID that you had sent with, you had received the communication on ccamp_big@ccam.res.in. ccamp_big.
Yes, ma'am.
@ccamp.res.in.
Okay, ma'am. Surely, ma'am. I'll connect with you through email, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Sumit, kindly unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, actually, we are the students.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Sumit, kindly go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, I have a question that we are a student of organic chemistry. We have passed our masters a few years back. So we are working on a startup which is a forest and agriculture biomass based. So what is the thematic area we have come under? And we have done a little of testing by IITs. So can we those tests comes under the proof of concepts we can upload in the application form or not?
So if it is forest biomass, are you targeting a particular molecule or are you targeting at cultivation and production?
Yeah,
what are you targeting?
We are targeting a cellulose. We are deriving cellulose at the cost-effective way, and that cellulose is converted to ethanol and the different various value-added products.
Okay, so then you can apply under industrial biotechnology. There is a choice of industrial processes under that. You can apply on that.
Okay, ma'am. And second thing is the proof of concept. We have done a lot of tests regarding these concepts, so we can add that test reports to the application part where those are necessary.
Yes, you will have to upload those as part of preliminary data.
Okay.
And kindly tell us what is the inference from those reports that you have achieved.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Arun Kumar, you have another query? Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, Anuj, I think there is a. We are having a lag with you. I would request.
Now? So is it audible now?
Slightly better.
Yeah.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I just want to know that is it possible to apply for this big if as I am a recently passed out master's student, so I have a project idea. So without any institutional affiliation, is it possible?
Yeah, as long as you have your master's degree, you can definitely go ahead and apply in the individual category.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Arun Kumar, kindly unmute yourself.
Am I audible?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Yeah, no, my queries are answered.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I'll just go through some of the queries in the Q&A box that we have. In case I have missed any, you can kindly upload once I have said that I am done with the Q&A box. What are the factors that would be considered while choosing the BIG partner campus? You can look at the BIRAC web portal and see which one of the partners have been highly efficient. The choosing of the BIG partner is something that is done by the applicant. So we request you to go through the profiles of the BIG partner prior to that. In addition to that, honestly speaking, if you are handheld by any particular BIG partner, it would be best to actually choose them to be your implementing partner, because they will be able to help you, understand things better, because they've been part of your journey right from the start. Thank you. Srijit Bakshi, is there any incubation program for undergraduate students? We have the immersion program. In case you're interested in that, we would request you to send us an email in this regard. Any product that shows significant innovation, significant amount of novelty, significant amount of value differentiation, which can be patented and commercialized, will be considered. Now, sometimes, some of the products that are, available in the market can be patented, but they have very less novelty with them. What I would request you to do is have a very strong value differentiation metrics with respect to the present competitors already in the market or presently available solutions in the market. And then the pitch for the BIG can be a bit more stronger than usual. If you have not identified any team members while submitting, kindly mention the designations of the individuals that you would be looking to be part of your biotechnology ignition grant, and you can mention under the name as they would be yet to be recruited. Incubation at CCAMP by any BIG awardee is not compulsory as long as you're not in Bangalore. In case you're in Bangalore, we would request you to tap into the ecosystem of CCAMP to the best possible mechanism. The budget allocated for regulatory compliance can be done, cannot be done, because regulatory is something that is post BIG. But in case you need to get some documentation done for the regulatory clearances, that can be undertaken under the BIG grant. Quitting of the job once the grant is awarded is something that we expect from employees who are presently part of a company or employed in any company, because BIG comes with a vision of starting your own entrepreneurial pursuit, and therefore your time and effort towards the BIG is expected to be around 100%. Being a research scholar, please understand that if you have anything concrete in your hands, which is not exploratory in nature, you can definitely go ahead and apply for the BIG grant. The project leader is supposed to step down from the current position if you are part of the company. But, if you are a team, then definitely you will have to step down, because you cannot be salaried from two sources as per the income tax rules of India. If you have an idea that is yet to be experimentally proven, then please understand that you can go through the BIG. So usually what people do is that when they have an idea, they go through the BIG experience, and whatever critical constructive feedback that they are getting from the online reviewers, they kind of work on it, fine-tune their idea, and then go ahead with the next call of the BIG, where you will be considered to be a repeat applicant. Any graduate is an eligible individual applicant. So even if you are yet to receive your master's certificate, you are eligible for application. We have a lot of anonymous questions from your end with respect to the presentation conducted as well as investment and all of that. I understand that because it is an anonymous attendee, we would request you to kindly send an email in that regard. It's not very clear from your question. Right, some of these questions are answered. Just give me some time to scroll through this. So if you have a proprietorship company, you can apply. You will be considered as an individual applicant. You will have to give us an undertaking that you will step down from your current position once you are awarded though. So, Mr. Raut, we will assess the proposal and get back to you on that with curated feedback. Thank you. Shruti says, is the production process more important than the product? Do we pitch the process of production or the applications of the product? Please bear in mind that both of them are equally important. The process of production, if it is going to render cost effectiveness, if it is going to increase the efficacy, the output, the biomass advantage with respect to the process of production, thereby increase the purity of the application that you are going to convert into a product, then both of these are equally necessary. How many applications can we submit? From this particular call, per applicant, only one idea will be undertaken for consideration. Preeti Chandran, I have started a startup under the proprietorship before 5 months. Can I apply as an individual? Yes, you can. Is it possible to apply for the grant? I think I have answered this question. Yeah, Mr. Sadanandamurthy, we will get back to you regarding your proposal. We will not be able to discuss on that in a crowded platform today. So we would request you to revert over email in case you require any particular questions to be answered. Thank you. The NOC format, the template, as well as a couple of guidelines would be coming your way after this call has ended as of today afternoon. Thank you. If you are a housewife or an individual not having undergraduate or a post-graduation qualification, you will be able to apply provided you have a startup. So you will have to be a graduate at the time of application. So in case due to societal conditions or any pressures, you are not able to complete your undergraduate, kindly ensure to incorporate a company and then you will be eligible to apply for the BIG. We have developed a smart security system for agriculture goods for which patent is pending, and we get a grant for advancing and manufacturing of the same product. Please bear in mind that manufacturing would not be considered under BIG because BIG is something under the POC stage. But in case you have done some smart security system where you feel that there is some critical feedback on which you have to work on your system again, and then you will have to advance it forward, then you can definitely apply. OPCs can definitely apply for the BIG grant. There's no issues with that. For a research scholar, BIG grant can be used to perform a part of the PhD work. Please understand that BIG is an entrepreneurial pursuit and not an academic pursuit. So this cannot be used for bridging your academic career. It is somewhere where you transcend from academia to entrepreneurship. And any PhD work, it cannot be considered for academic work. So it cannot be considered as a completion for PhD. And also the end of the BIG, we are expecting a patent out of the awardees and not publications. Thank you. Another question was, is any partner of the LLP a co-partner or any of the co-promoter of? Yes, if you are an LLP applicant, then kindly ensure to upload your LLP agreement as part of MOA and AOA that is requested. If you are not employed in a current position, but you do have a graduate degree, you can definitely go ahead and apply. Is there any other questions that I have missed? I'm just going through it. If there are any questions I have missed, kindly put up your hand so that we can take the queries forward. Thank you. Anything in the YouTube link? Not much. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Ganesh, kindly unmute.
Hello, it's me. Is it me, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a query?
Yeah, I asked for the OPC registration and you told that it can be done because
yeah,
I have done it and I'm not having any partners or any directors, only myself.
Sure, definitely. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ruchi, we are working on a physiotherapy wearable device. Prototype is ready and got patent grant recently. Can we apply for you can apply for both of the grants, BIG as well as MIghty. Kindly ensure that once you've been awarded MIghty or BIG, then the other grant scheme, you will not be able to utilize the funds for the same milestones or objectives. I hope that is clear. I think I can build a simple, useful product without can be patented. I think we have answered this. So basically, if you have a company that is registered under MSME, under Startup India, if it is less than 5 years old, and if you're an LLP or a private limited, you can definitely go ahead and apply. If you have received any funds previous to BIG, again, you are eligible to apply. Just ensure that your milestones and your technical objectives are not similar to BIG. Thank you. Our company has recently been incubated in a startup. We work on microbial. So, Ms. Revati, we would request you to kindly share your draft with us. If I'm not wrong, we have had a conversation regarding this. So, I would request you to kindly share your draft with us as per the format, and then we can take it forward from there. Thank you. Anuba Joshi, can you explain more about the declaration form? So basically, there are two declaration forms that come in. One is if you're employed in a company, you will have to give us a declaration form that states that you will step down from your current position once you are awarded, not at the time of application, but once you are awarded. Large-scale validation studies, if it is in a pilot form, then it will be eligible for BIG. If it is going to include, a target trial for say 100 to 200 metrics or 200 people that you're going to undertake for your studies, then you will not be eligible for BIG, primarily because the budget will not be able to ascertain that. Thank you. Can an individual sell the technology developed through BIG grant to a company? The mode of commercialization is something that we can, that always varies after the BIG POC is established. But at least at the time of application, we would like you to take this forward by yourself. So at least clarity on your business strategy is something that we require at the time of application. Thank you. Do you have tips or points to be careful for writing the marketability aspect, also on the commercialization potential? So basically, we do not want you to go to a business expert and get a 30 or 80 pager from them as to what can be your strategy forward. We would only like you to have clarity as to how you would be marketing the product, who your target customers would be, and be as precise as possible with respect to gender, age, metrics, and all of that. As well as the commercialization potential is concerned, we would like you to have the right numbers and the right statistics with you from websites that are vouched from the government of India or the state government, whichever you're targeting. And also the fact that we would also like to know, like, for example, if you're coming out with a product, what would be the product, the cost of the product or something like that. If you need handholding on the marketability and commercialization, the BIG management team at CCAM would be more than happy to take this forward. Thank you. I am an assistant professor in a university. have an idea that is about to be patented with some refinement, you cannot apply through the university. Please understand that BIG is an entrepreneurship grant and not an academic grant, and therefore you should either you or your company should be the applicant. Thank you. If you have already incorporated your company in 2018, and the same year applied for patent, but what would be the option to apply because now the company is more than 5 years old? Please ensure that the age of the company matters and not the age of the patent. So if you're more than 5 years old, I would request you to look at other investment related opportunities with CCAMP or any of the ecosystems that are available in India. Thank you. Can we outsource technology development to a company? Please understand that at least 20% of the R&D of the product only can be undertaken for outsource. You cannot just get the BIG grant and utilize the funds to pay a third party to undertake all the experiments under BIG. I hope that helps. Thank you. Afsar Sharif has a question. A company that is already registered as a private limited and incubated is not eligible for BIG or its benefits. I am not sure I understand your question correctly. So Afsar, if you are here, I would request you to kindly raise your hand because I need clarification as to what exactly that means. All right. Until Afsar joins us, if there are any other questions, kindly please raise your hands or use the chat box. Yes, Mr. Jose, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, we can. Hi.
Hi, Nitya. Nitya, the question I have is that we have a patented product in the dental space, and we have actually already done a pilot. We have already deployed 15 pilot units of this device in dental clinics across Cochin. And based on their feedback, which we have been gathering for the last 6 months, we have to actually go back to the drawing board to redesign and research and redesign a few features of the device, of the system as a whole.
Okay.
So now given this, and our product is already patented. So given this background, are we eligible for the big grant?
If you have some sort of thing that you have to go back to the go back to the whiteboard and, revisit the entire prototype, you can definitely apply for the BIG because you will have considerable amount of R&D to be done with respect to the feedback that you have received. I would request you to kindly draft your application and send it to us. As far as the patent that is already applied is concerned, we would like to know a bit more features regarding the patent that you have applied, which may require one second, which may require even if it is granted, we would require a conversation with you or a discussion with you, which may border on aspects that may be proprietary in nature. Correct. So what we would like you to do is send us a draft of your application and also the patent details, so over email, so that we can guide you better on this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Kindly raise your hand or use the chat box, please. How many presentations I have to go through to ensure the BIG grant? There are many people who get the BIG grant, who avail the BIG grant right in their first attempt. There are also people who show a lot of grit and work on their proposal depending on the comments that are achieved or shared from the panel members. So there are not, I hope you get it in the first round. But if you're talking about the mentorship sessions from CCAMP, that can be availed to the maximum till August 16th. Thank you. If already parallel systems are published or patented, can I work on another comparable system? Publications, if they are of scientific literature merit, then, they can be compared. If it is patented, then you will have to give us the strengths and the drawbacks and give a very strong value differentiation with your system. And why exactly are you going with your idea rather than the patented or published systems that are already in place? I hope that answers Sri Rupa. Right. So any other queries? After getting the grant for one product, can the same company apply for the second product? No. Once you are a BIG body, you cannot avail the BIG grant once more. Thank you. Sri Rupa, you can work within your city as long as you are associated with a TBI there. But if you're based only in Bangalore, then we would request you to kindly be associated with CCAMP. I hope that helps. Any other queries? Medical furnitures would be a part of the medical devices theme. Thank you. Mr. Ganesh, you have another query with you?
Yes, ma'am. Regarding this, if once I get a grant or something, can I work with CCAMP itself also? Because based on the availability of your resources, and can I get the grants and pay like kind of thing?
I'm not sure I understood your question. For example, if you use CCAMP as an implementing partner and get awarded,
yeah.
What exactly was the question? It was kind of unclear.
Yeah, please. What I'm asking is,
yes.
If I get incubated by you for some other products also, may I work with you and get monthly payment salary kind of thing?
If you're awarded through the grant as part of manpower, you can avail your salary. I hope that's clear.
And whether I can avail this quarters in CCAMP or in a subsidized rate kind of thing, because I visited your campus already. Yeah. Is it available for incubators?
So rentals for BIG is with respect to the TBI, not for personal use.
For TBI only, but not personal use.
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Rai, kindly unmute yourself. Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. So I found out, so the capacity is what has been patented relating to my product, and we are making a smaller version of which that product is not available, and there are no patent for that category of production. Does that work?
Yes, yes, it does. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ashmita, kindly unmute yourself, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
So, so if we are applying for on the drug discovery theme, how much of the preliminary data is expected?
If you're working on the drug theme, then how much of preliminary data is expected? It depends on what you are looking at the drug-like molecule for.
Okay.
So correct. So basically what we would like you to do is have the in vitro studies should be completed as far as drugs is concerned, because it can go either way, right? With the drugs, at least, I mean, if you have the mice data, it will be great. But in case you have very strong in vitro data and would like to undertake a very clinically devised or designed rat or mice studies, that can be undertaken under BIG, yes.
Okay, yeah. The other thing I also wanted to ask was if the PhD student is the applicant, then I can be the advisor, scientific advisor. That is fine?
Yes.
That model works. Okay.
Yes. As
And,
long as the project coordinator can get an NOC from the institute, it's fine.
Yeah, that is not a problem. But the thing is, the data that we generate out of this cannot be used elsewhere. Like when we get the in vivo data, suppose we do the in vitro and then we go for the in vivo through big, then that data cannot be used in the thesis for the student.
No.
And
No.
it cannot
because
be
it's not an academic pursuit. It's a entrepreneurial pursuit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we needed that clarity. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Ria Bosco, will you be having a session before? Yes, we will. Thank you. Can the scientific advisor for a previous BIG awardee be the same for the current BIG applicant? If the BIG awardee is different from the previous, then you can definitely be a scientific advisor for multiple projects. I hope that clarifies, Sujata. Shrirupa, I think it's better you can, raise your hand so that I can unmute yourself because you seem to have quite a few queries. Otherwise, what we can do is you can send us an email at CCAM_BIG and we can take it forward. Especially queries with respect to your project. It is better if we can have a, off the record conversation. Thank you. So the draft template, the guidelines, as well as the format for the NOC will be shared after the webinar is closed. At the time of registration, you had shared with us your email ID. So we will be contacting you on that and sharing that information that is required. It will be done probably by the end of the day or tomorrow morning. Thank you. Scientific advisors are not paid through the BIG grant. It is basically done on a pro bono basis. Only the team members and the project coordinator can avail the manpower resources and the budget for the manpower under the BIG grant. Any other queries? I think Afsar has actually left the meeting. So we probably would not wait on him. We shall try to get in touch with him off record. Right. So there are no further open questions in the Q&A box. If anybody has any questions, you can either raise your hands or use a Q&A box again. It's already 1:30. I'm sure most of you are hungry. So if there are no further questions in the next 5 minutes, I think we would wrap up the session. Thank you. All right. So I see no further questions coming up. Thank you everyone for investing your morning with us. It was wonderful to interact with each and one of you. In case you have any further queries, kindly revert over email to the communication that was sent to you. Otherwise, you can definitely reach us on the email ID that I am mentioning on the chat box right now. All the very best to everyone, and kindly ensure and avail the opportunity of sharing your draft with us prior to submitting it onto the BIRAC portal. The deadline for the present call is the August 16th, although we would like you to upload all of your proposals by the 15th of August, just to ensure that there are no last minute technical hassles that we have to deal with. Kindly also ensure that discussions for the ideas are open at CCAM 24/7. So in case you feel you are a little bit too early or time sensitive for August 16th, we can always take up a conversation till the next BIG call or even after that. Any queries with respect to any propositions, investments, resources, technology panels, technology parallels, as well as the research to academic to industry collaborations can be taken up over email as well. Kindly note that the email ID is presently in the chat box and can be availed by all the participants today. Thank you once more for joining the session and have a wonderful day. Thank you. All the very best.